Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this another lecture on entrepreneurship. You already know that we have started our discussion on how to write a business plan and what are some of the basic components of the business plan. In the previous lectures up till now, we have discussed four very major important components of a business plan, which are number one, the executive summary, the company's description, the industry analysis, and the market analysis. Today, we would expand on the market analysis and we would learn how we can convert the market analysis into an actual running market plan. So after today's lecture, I believe that you would be able to develop a thorough market plan for your own business idea. You would be able to identify important factors to consider while developing a market plan. And you would be able to discuss with confidence the importance of management structures and teams. And along with that, you would also be able to develop organizational structure for your business plan. And at the end, you would be very clearly be able to develop a list of key organizational team members. So starting off from what a marketing plan is and what is the importance of marketing plan. Recapping a bit, in the previous class, we have discussed that marketing analysis is one of the important key inputs that we want to develop a marketing plan. So everything that we are going to define, the price, place, promotion strategies, and all these strategies that we are going to define in our marketing plan are going to base on the information and data that we have gathered in our market analysis portion. So that is why both of these sections, section 3 and section 4, are very well connected with one another. So what is a marketing plan? A marketing plan focuses on how business will market and sell its products or services. And some of the items that you need to include is the overall marketing strategy. And most importantly, the product, price, place, and promotion distribution strategies. Now, this is how this is basically the roadmap that I would be following in making you understand that what are different components of a marketing plan that you need to write in your business idea. So a key insight of the marketing plan. The best way to describe a startup marketing plan is to start articulating its marketing strategy, positioning, and the point of differentiation, and then talk about how these overall aspects of the plan will be supported by price, promotional mix, and the distribution strategy. As I have already told you, the marketing analysis portion that you have done is going to be the key input that we are going to use in our marketing plan. So the marketing plan would totally depend on the information, on the customer analysis, on the competitor analysis, on the environmental analysis that you have already done in the market analysis part. If you have not understood what is market analysis, I would request you to go back to my previous lecture and revisit what is a marketing analysis and how to conduct a market analysis. So remember, the marketing in itself will not guarantee sales. But by adopting a well-researched and coherent plan, you have a much better chance of building a long-term profitable relationships. So what is a marketing plan? I have given you some of the key outlines of what an effective marketing plan looks like. An effective marketing plan actually covers 5 key areas. These are, number one, we would start from discussing the marketing plan summary and introduction. And then we would talk about your marketing objectives, how to set marketing objectives, and how to relate this strategy with the long-term objectives. Then we would talk about what is the strategy to achieve those objectives. And then we would talk about how to implement that strategy. And then at the end, we would be talking about and we would be discussing how to control your marketing plan. So starting from the very first discussion on marketing plan summary and introduction. As we have already discussed, that your business plan starts from your executive summary. The executive summary is basically the summary of your entire business plan that you are going to develop. It includes your competitor analysis, your market analysis, your pricing strategy, your product introduction, the key opportunity that you have seen, the key problem that you are trying to solve, what are some of the financial constraints and financial issues that you want to resolve. Everything is summarized into an executive summary. every major section of your business plan is going to start from the summary of that particular section. And this is what the marketing plan summary and introduction is for the marketing plan. So what executive summary is for the complete marketing is for the complete business plan document. Marketing plan summary and introduction is for the marketing plan section of this document. So it is a very good idea to introduce the main body of the plan with the reminder of your overall marketing environment, including what is your business about, what are your key business objectives, what is the market segment you are targeting, what are some of the key target customers, and what is the point of differentiation. The objective here is to link your marketing analysis section with the marketing plan section. You have to give a brief introduction and brief summary of all the information, all the data that you have gathered in your marketing summary, a marketing analysis portion, so that you can base your strategies and you can base your structures on the market analysis portion. As you know, that every customer segment is a different customer segment. There are certain people who are looking for more value out of the money that they are spending. There are certain people who wants to find and who wants more differentiation from the product that they are getting. There are certain customers who are more focused on quality rather than the price that they are paying for a certain product. So there is a huge difference in different marketing segments. Even if you talk about ages, different age groups have different needs, not only in terms of clothing, not only in terms of what they eat, but how they spend money, what they read, from where they gather information. Everything is different as a particular customer moves down the life. So that is why it is very, very important to always keep into account the customer analysis portion that you have done and the segmentation and positioning portion that you have written in your market analysis section. And you need to base your marketing plan on the basis of the market analysis that you have already done. The second very important section of the marketing plan portion is to develop your marketing objectives. Now, what are the marketing objectives? Marketing objectives are basically based on your strengths and weaknesses and what you actually want to achieve from this particular marketing plan. And you need to keep this in mind that your marketing plan objectives should always be written in such a way that they not only show some qualitative information, it also show a quantitative data. For example, one of the example of a marketing plan objective can be increasing sales by 10% over the next year. So in this single statement, the writer has not only explained that what he wants to achieve, what is the objective of this marketing plan, he has also explained that how he is going to measure the success of this marketing plan. And that is that he wants to achieve 10% over next year. So if he has not achieved 10% over next year, this means that this marketing plan has actually failed. Now, how you can develop your marketing plans? Again, your marketing objectives. The marketing objectives can be developed again by thoroughly evaluating the customer objectives and customer analysis portion of your marketing analysis. And while developing your marketing objectives, you need to keep this SMART philosophy in your mind. What is a SMART philosophy? Or what is a smart way of setting the objectives? The smart way of setting the objectives is that your objectives, number one, should be very specific. S is for specific. For example, you might set an objective of getting 10 new customers. Now, this is a very, very specific, very, very clear, very, very well-written marketing objective. If you have written that I want to increase my customers, now, this particular marketing objective is also right, but you have left some of the misconceptions there. By just saying that you want to increase your customers, you have not mentioned that how you're going to measure the performance of this marketing plan, because you would have achieved this particular objective by increasing just one more customer or by increasing 1,000 customers. In both ways, the objective has been set. So that is why your objective should include some quantitative information that would make it very specific. So the very first thing that you need to keep in mind while developing your marketing plan is that your marketing objectives should be very, very specific. They should include quantitative data that would not only make that objective specific, but coming to the second portion of the SMART objective, it would also help you to measure that marketing objectives. Now, what is meant by measure? Measurable means that whatever your objective is, you need to be able to check whether you have reached it or not when you are going to review your plan. Okay, so if your objective doesn't include some quantitative information, it would be very, very difficult for you to measure that particular objective. For example, one of your objective could be that you want to achieve 100,000 followers or 10,000 followers on your Facebook page. On the other hand, I can say that my objective is to increase the followers or to have lots of followers on my Facebook page. By saying increasing the followers or by saying having lots of followers on the Facebook page, I have not made it clear that how I am going to measure the increase or how I'm going to measure the lots of term in my objectives. So that is why it is very, very important that you should be able to include such information in your objectives that would make the marketing plan measurable. And please do keep this in mind that anything that you can measure, you can actually improve. And anything that you cannot measure, you cannot actually improve. So that is why you further, in order to get the feedback, in order to get the in order to improve your marketing plans for your future business models, you need to make your marketing objectives measurable and specific. The third important section of developing objectives that are SMART is to develop objectives that are achievable. Whenever we are going to develop objectives, we need to keep this thing in mind that we have some limited resources. And while entrepreneurs are always work with limited resources, as this is one of the definitions of entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurs try to pursue opportunities regardless of the resources they currently control. This means that they have limited resources. They do not have, they have to generate resources. And this is one of the basic difference that we have discussed between a manager and an entrepreneur. That manager always make plans according to the resources that they have. On the other hand, entrepreneurs make plan to gather more resources, which makes the job of entrepreneurs much more difficult. So in a condition in which entrepreneurs even himself do not know that how much resources they have or how much resources would come in future, they need to restrict their plans and they need to plan much more intelligently as compared to product managers. So that is why you need to keep in your mind the resources, you need to keep in mind the time, the money, the cost, the people required in executing that particular plan that would achieve that particular objective. So you must have the resources you need to achieve the objectives. The key resources are usually people and money. If you do not have those key resources, you need to first generate these key resources. It is it is a common mistake that many of the entrepreneurs do or many of the entrepreneurs make. That is, they develop some objectives. They write down some of the key goals that they want to achieve, and these key goals are somewhere out of their dreams. They do not have the resources, they do not have the skill set, they do not have the people, they do not have the processes that would take them on the road through which they can achieve those objectives. So that is why it is very, very important that you should be keeping in mind your resources and how you are going to develop those resources that would help you achieve your objectives. So number 3 point in your SMART objectives is that your objectives should be achievable so that you don't get frustrated. Which brings us to the fourth part of the SMART objective. Your objectives should be realistic. Target should stretch you, not demotivate you. As we have already discussed, that entrepreneurship is is a journey toward innovation. Entrepreneurship is a journey into a realm of unknown, right? So that is why entrepreneurship is always going to stretch you, because you are going to do something that you have never done before. But there should be some balance. You should not be doing something that is totally out of your control, because the journey of entrepreneurship, the start of entrepreneurship, is already very frustrating. Already you would be facing issues, already you would be facing problems, already you would be taking into account things that you have never mentioned in your business plan. Already there would be certain variables that would come up that were not there when you were planning this whole business idea. So that is why it is very important to keep your plans realistic to a level that can balance both innovation and the reality. The fifth and the most important part of developing a smart objective is that your objective should be time bound. Again, this is very much relatable to the measurable part of the smart objectives. Every business plan should be having, or every objective should have a control mechanism embedded in it. If you would not have a control mechanism embedded in it, this means that you would not be able to evaluate, or you would not be able to gather the feedback regarding your objectives and your business plan and your marketing plan. So your objective should have a deadline. Your objective should be time bound, as we have discussed in the measurable part, as we have discussed in the resource part. There can be multiple resources. Time is one of the resource. So you should be keeping that particular resource in your mind. I have developed some of the marketing objectives for you, just to give you an example that how marketing objectives look like, or what are some of the most simplest marketing objectives that you can develop for your own business plans. Number one, generating 10K followers on the Facebook page by the end of 2020. As you can see that I have not only mentioned how I'm going to measure the objectives, I've also mentioned that what is the time limit or time frame that I would be requiring in order to generate this particular, in order to achieve this objective or this goal that I have set. Another objective that I've made is increasing revenues by 20% by the end of next year. Again, in this particular objective, I have termed my marketing objectives on the basis of the revenue that I am getting. And again, I have not only mentioned that what is the percentage increase that I want in my revenues, I have also mentioned that what is the time in which I want to achieve this objective. Right? So these are the kind of the objectives that I want you to develop for yourself. I do not want to develop such marketing objectives. I do not want you to develop such marketing objectives that are very vague. Like, I want to serve quality customers. For example, you can also say that I want to increase my business by I want to increase my business. Now, both of these objectives are very unclear. Both of these objectives are giving you directions, but they are not giving you any mean or any idea about how you're going to achieve this particular objective, or what is going to be the measure on which you are going to evaluate this particular objective afterwards. So that is why always try to include your quantitative information that would back your qualitative data in your marketing objectives. If there is no quantitative information, your marketing objectives would become unmeasurable. And anything that cannot be measured, it cannot be improved and it cannot be evaluated. So I hope that these 5 criteria for developing objectives are clear. Number one, your objective should be specific. Your objectives should be measurable. Your objective should be achievable. Your objective should be realistic. And at the end, your objectives should be time bound. Your objectives should be smart. So once you have developed your marketing objective, the second portion, the next step is to develop a strategy. And your marketing strategy would actually vary, and it would actually depend on what kind of customer segment you are targeting. As I have already told you, that we have discussed the segmentation and the positioning part in the marketing analysis section that we have already written. So this is the area where you need to connect your strategy with the plan. your strategy with the tactics. If you have gathered an information about your customers and you want to target such customers that are around 25 to 30 years of age, that are primarily they are students or they are at a very early stage of their career, and your brand is a clothing brand, you need to look into the needs and wants of this particular segment. You must understand that maybe they are young people, they are currently in these final years of their education career, or they are in the very initial years of their professional career. So they require both the dresses for the professional they need attire for professional environment and for the educational environment. So this is the kind of the information that you want, that you develop or that you gather when you are when you're gathering the customer analysis or when you're doing the market analysis. So for each segment, you need to look at what customer want, what you can offer, and what is the competition like. You want to identify segments where you have competitive advantage, and you should assess whether you can expect high enough sales to make segments worthwhile. And at the end, you need to differentiate yourself from the competition to encourage customers to choose your business first. So these can be the 5 components of your marketing strategy. Number 1, you need to identify the market segment. Number 2, you need to relate that market segment with what you can offer and what is your competitive advantage. And number 3, you need to identify your competition and how your competition is competing. And number 5, you need to identify somehow, you need to explain, you need to communicate somehow that how your product and your marketing objectives and your marketing plan and your organization is different from the competitor's organization. These are the 5 key components on which you are going to develop your marketing tactics. Marketing strategy actually translates into the marketing tactics. What is the segment? What is your product? What competitors are doing, and how they are achieving their marketing strategy? All depends on the 4 P's of marketing. So here you basically need to evaluate. You basically need to develop your strategies regarding 4 P's of marketing. You have many times in your previous classes and in your previous courses, you must have discussed what 4 P's of marketing is. Probably when you were discussing the business, when you were discussing the introduction to marketing courses or marketing management courses or integrated communication courses. In every marketing related courses, I believe that you must have discussed the 4 P's and what is the impact of 4 P's on your overall marketing plan. Here we are going to briefly discuss what are different components of 4 P model and how they can help you in develop your marketing plans. So number 1 is your product. The very first thing that you need to define in your marketing plan is how your product is going to solve the problems of the customers. So what is your product offering? What is the value that this particular product is giving away to the customer? What are some of the changes that you require to do in your product so that your product can become more attractive to the customers? Now, every information that I have just mentioned, what is your product, how this product is offering you value, how this product is going to become more attractive to the customer, is going to come from all the tools and all the information gathering tools that we have already done. For example, is this particular product offers enough value? Is this particular product do we need to change some of the features of this product? Now, this information can be gathered by using concept testing. And we have already discussed concept testing. We have developed concept statements, and we have gathered information on the basis of that concept statements. So the very first thing is that you need to focus on your product, what your product is, and you need to relate your product with the segment to whom you are catering that particular product. If the segment that you are targeting is a segment that is looking for quality products, and your particular product is not offering some unique features, your product is not offering some quality features, or your product is not different from in any way from the competitor, then I'm afraid that this product is not going to be a very successful product in terms of marketing segment strategies. That is why you need to develop a product that is very close knit, that is very closely related to the segment and the positioning that you want to achieve. The second important thing, pricing. As you already know, that pricing is always related and pricing is always interconnected with the overall understanding of the quality in the mind of the customers. So in the mind of the customers, the price is always related to the quality of a certain product. If the price of a certain product is less, customers would always believe that the quality of this product is also low. So you will also need to keep this thing in mind. And while deciding and while defining the pricing strategy, you also need to define and you also need to decide that what is the life stage of your particular product. And if you are introducing a product, or you are an entrepreneur and you are going to introduce a unique, innovative product, you either need to go for market skimming or you can follow market penetration strategies, which maybe you have already discussed in your previous courses. Just to give you a brief overview, market skimming pricing basically means that you are going to skim you are going to charge high prices at the very start that would enable you to attract those customers that are looking for unique, innovative products, and they are not worried about the price that they're going to pay. On the other hand, if you are following market penetration strategies, you are basically keeping your profit margins low so that it would enable you to keep your prices low so that you can penetrate into the market in a much more speedy way. By having less price gives you this ability to reach masses and to reach more customers. So whatever pricing strategy you are going to follow, again, your pricing strategy is going to be totally dependent on the market analysis that you have done in the previous section. If your market analysis is not up to the mark, if your market analysis has given you the wrong information, I'm afraid you would be choosing very wrong pricing strategies as well, as it is written here. So you might aim simply to match the competition or change the premium price for the quality products and services. You might have to choose either to make relatively high profit margins or sell more with lower units profits. As I have told you, you need to decide upon that whether you are going to go for skimming pricing or you're going for market penetration pricing. Remember that some customers may seek a low price to meet their budget, while other may view a low price as an indication of quality levels. So again, the summary of whatever I have told you about the pricing strategy, your pricing is going to be totally dependent upon what your marketing objective is and what kind of customers you are targeting. There are different kind of customers that would be attracted by different kind of pricing strategies. Low price do not attract everyone. Yes, they can attract masses, but they do not attract everyone, because there can be certain people who are relating these prices with the quality of the product. On the other hand, by keeping the price high, again, you are giving away the masses, because then masses would not be able to afford your product. Another very important thing that you want to write in your business plan is the place. Now, place basically means that how and where you are going to sell. What is going to be your distribution channels? As you know, that lots of organizations and lots of clothing manufacturers are now opting for having their own retail outlets. Now, this is a change in their placement strategy. I very much remember that back in 2006, 2005, Levi's jeans and Levi's t-shirts were available in HKB. There was no separate outlet or separate retail shop for Levi's clothing. But now Levi's is maintaining its own retail outlets, and Levi's is selling their products all by themselves. Now, this is a strategic change that Levi's has brought. And why Levi's has changed this strategy of placement? Because Levi's wants more control over their placement and more control over how they are selling this particular product. So this means that the placement and how your product is being distributed and how your product is being sold has a huge impact on the perception and the position that you want to carry in the mind of the customers. If your product is of a very high end, you need to have some exclusive outlet for that particular product. You do not want, you can't afford having a high end exclusive product placed with a very low quality products that would decrease the value of your product, and that would decrease the value of your offering. On the other hand, if your product is of a very mainstream, if your product is of a very if you're targeting masses, then it is important for you to select such retails where the footfalls are high, or where the masses come for shopping and retailing, rather than some selected people or some elites or some people who have high consumable income. They come. So your placement strategies and your distribution strategy should be up to the mark. For example, you are going to start a business that is going to sell some products online. You need to decide upon that who is going to be your carrier once you would receive the order. So once you would receive the order, either you are going to deliver that particular product, or you are going to go in contract, or in some sort of a relationship with some organization that would take your product from your vicinity to the doorstep of your customers. Many of the organizations, they basically use TCS and courier services like TCS, Cheetah, and many other OCS, many other TCS services, or many other courier services that are operating in Pakistan. If again I can give you example, 3 years back, the Raz.pk was using TCS as their main courier services, but now they have changed their placement strategy and distribution strategy. Now they are using TCS, but primarily they are delivering they are delivering their products by themselves as well. So they have started the Raz courier services to deliver their products primarily. So that is why your placement and how your product is going to be distributed is going to have a huge impact on your customer loyalty. Because let's suppose you are selling online and your courier service is not performing up to the mark. This means that the customer do not know, or customer is not going to say that the courier services is on fault. They are going to say that your organization is on fault for selecting such a courier service. And most probably they would not buy in future from your online shops. It has happened with me many a times. After like 2-3 years back, I ordered some headphones from an online organization that were operating from Karachi. So they were using OCS as their core carrier for their products. So OCS took around 20 days to deliver me that particular product. And in that 20 days, it was a very good marketing strategy that organization was following. In that 20 days, that organization called me 5 times and apologized upon the delay. So your organization need to take the responsibility, and they need to take into account all of these external factors that comes with the placement and distribution strategies of your organization and your product. The last thing, and that is going to be the very, very important part of your 4 Ps of marketing plan, is how you're going to promote. Please do keep in mind that for most of the organization, around 60% of the marketing budget is dedicated to promotion. And there are lots of facets and lots of dimensions of promotions. In promotion, you discuss advertisement. In promotion, you discuss selling. In promotion, you also discuss that you are going to use person selling or personal promotion. What is your social media promotion strategy? What is your mainstream promotion strategy? So promotion is how you reach your customer and your potential customer. You might be using advertising, you might be using PR, direct mail, person selling. All of these things are different parts of the promotion strategies. So how you and how your organization is going to reach the customer? Are you going to use the social media? Are you going to set up ads on radio, on TV, or are you going to set up the billboards? What are you going to do so that you can disseminate the message, your marketing message, to the masses and to the customers? You need to be very, very careful in deciding and in developing your promotion strategies. So these are basically 4 different dimensions of the marketing plan. If you are selling a product, you need to focus on your product, you need to focus on your price, you need to focus on the place at which your product is being sold, or how you're going to distribute your product, and at the end need to focus on how you're going to promote. I want you to develop these 4 subsections in your marketing plan when you are developing the marketing plan sections. So these can be your 4 subsections of your marketing plan. And in 4 subsections, all the dimensions and all the facets of your marketing plans would be covered, inshallah. But if you are dealing in the service sector, you need to include 3 more P's or 3 more dimensions in your marketing plan. If you are offering services, first of all, let me explain you that why we need much more detailed marketing plan when we are dealing with services. So when we are dealing with services, basically the production and the consumption of the services are happening exactly at the same time. You are producing a particular service and consumer is consuming. For example, you have this this idea of setting up a very innovative barbershop. How much innovative that barbershop can be? That barbershop cannot provide services online. The customer needs to be there in that barbershop, sitting physically, so that he can achieve the services. And same is the case with the doctors, same is the case with the lawyers, same is the case with the architects. If the customer is not providing the information to these lawyers, to this data, to the doctors, to the architects, all of these professions, they actually can't start, or they cannot actually start producing their services. How can doctor recommend you a medicine without evaluating him, or without you telling him that what is the problem? How an architect can start giving you consultancy without having an idea that how much land you have and what kind of building you want to develop on it. So that is why when it comes to services, the marketing plan becomes much more complex, because here now you need to include certain factors as well. Again, one of the very important factor in case of services, you do not have anything tangible to show. Right? The doctor do not have anything tangible to show that this is this particular this is my consultancy. There is no consultancy. Every consultancy the doctor gives you in his mind, that is his knowledge, and the knowledge cannot be shared in form of any tangible existence. So that is why you need much more complex marketing plan when you're going to design objectives and plan for the services. In case of services, you need to, number 1, include the people. People are going to be very, very important in case of services, because many a times in products, the products are manufactured, or products are made in the back end, in the factory, where they do not have the close links with the customers. But as I've already told you, in case of services, the services are being produced right in the front of the customers. So how your employees are behaving, how your employees are developing strong linkages and relationship with the customer who is sitting in front of you is going to be very, very important thing. So you need to ensure that your employees have the right training. Just imagine going to a restaurant and a waiter misbehaving with you. You won't even know the name of that particular waiter, but that misbehaving would leave a very long-lasting negative impact regarding that restaurant that you have visited. Imagine going to a university and the teachers in that universities are not teaching you up to the mark. So yes, you would be blaming teachers, but more than the teachers, you would be blaming the university for hiring those teachers. And you would be blaming the management for not having the right feedback mechanisms that can actually check that what different teachers are doing. So in case of services, how your employees are behaving is going to be have a very long lasting, or is going to have a very deep impact on the perception and the image of the organization that customer have in the mind of the customer have in his mind. The second thing that you need to develop, or that you need to mention in your marketing plan section for the services, are the processes. Again, as I've told you, that in case of services, the production of service happens right in front of the customers. So in every service situation, in every service delivery methodology, customer needs to go through a certain process. For example, when you go to develop your CNIC, you follow a certain process. You go from bench to bench, you go from cabins to cabin, and you keep on giving away the information that they require. And at the end, you get your CNIC or your passport. Now, this whole process through which a particular customer is going through is a process that is a process that is going to create an experience for the customers. If this experience would be good, customer would be remembering you in a positive way. If this experience is not good, customer would be taking away very negative image about your organization. Same is the case for, let's say, if we talk about a restaurant. So if I as a customer go to a restaurant, I want to get served, there is a process that I have to follow. I need to go to that particular place. I need to sit at their one of the tables. Then then the waiter would come and he would give me the menu. I would select what I want to eat. I would communicate that particular selection and choice to the waiter, and then that waiter would communicate that choice to the back end kitchen. And then once that order is developed, that particular order would be served to me, and I would be enjoying that order. This is a complete process that I need to follow. And if I would be having good experience of this process, if this process is going to be smooth line, if there are no hiccups, then I would be living with a very positive image about the organization. On the other hand, let's say if I go there and there is no place to sit, or if I have found a place to sit, no employee or no waiter is coming and he is giving me the menu. Or once I have communicated the choice, it's been like 1 hour and I have not been served. Now, these are all the hiccups that can come in the process of the service delivery. So that is why you need to focus on the process of the marketing, on the process as well, when we are developing the marketing plan of the services. Anything that is related to the customer, anything that can deeply impact the positioning strategy that we want to follow, is going to be discussed in the process and in the marketing plan of the organization. The last very, very important thing that you need to understand, or that you need to mention if you are dealing in the services sector. And I know that many of the students are dealing in service sector. Especially, I remember Hafiz Muhammad Zuhaib. He is working on an online mechanic shop. So in that case, people, processes would be, and physical evidence would be very important. I also remember Aisha. She is also working on developing a catering service at Kasur. So even in that case, people, processes are going to be very, very important, and especially the physical evidence. So what is physical evidence? Physical evidence means everything that is tangible to your service. Yes, services are intangible, but there are many yes, I know that services are intangible, but there are lots of tangible things that are associated with the intangible services. For example, whenever you go to a doctor has an office, or doctor has a space that would ensure privacy. Doctor would also have certain equipments that he is going to use, certain medical equipments that he is going to use on you. Just imagine going to a doctor, and doctor sitting there in a very dirty attire, in an office that is not ensuring any privacy, and using equipments that are not even being washed. So you would be having a very, very negative image about this particular doctor, and about this particular experience that you would be having. Imagine going to a lawyer, and this particular lawyer is sitting in a very comfortable environment, giving you this feel of having a very private kind of a conversation, and he is very well groomed and he is talking to you nicely. So this particular lawyer would leave a very positive impact on you. Again, you need to keep this in mind that customer has to be there so that he can receive the service. And because of this particular reason, the customer observes the physical things around him. Whenever you go to University of South Asia, you observe the physical things. You observe the classrooms, you observe the attire of the teachers, you observe the ambience, you observe the lawns, you observe lots of things there. So that is why for every service providers, it is very, very important to focus on the physical evidence as well. So if you are dealing in case of services, you need to include these three elements in your marketing plan as well. That is the people, processes, and the physical evidence. So your marketing plan should not only include that what you want to achieve, it should also include that how you're going to achieve it or how you're going to implement. As it is written here, your marketing plan should do more than just say what you want to happen. It must describe each steps required to make sure it happens. The plan should therefore include schedules of key tasks. They set out that what will be done and by when. The cost of everything is in the plan needs to be included in the budget. And you may also want to link your marketing budget to your sales forecasts. So how you're going to achieve it? You need to write down each and everything, as I have already explained you in when I was explaining you the marketing objective part. You need to tie your marketing strategy and your marketing tactics with the resources that you have, and time is one of the key resources. You need to develop schedules. You need to give responsibilities to people. You need to check that whether the schedules or whether the timelines are being met or not. So your implementation of the marketing plan should be streamlined. Your implementation of the marketing plan should be thoroughly researched and should be well planned as well. One of the very important thing that you should be including in the implementation is the cost. Every entrepreneur wants their product to be promoted to many different types and many different segments of the market, but there is a cost attached to reaching each and every customer. Do you have that kind of a money? Do you have that kind of a resource? If you do not have that kind of money or resource, you need to plan your marketing in a very, very intelligent way. Many organizations also use guerrilla marketing, which is basically using innovative ways in which they can actually achieve those plans. So you need to come up with some sort of ideas and some sort of intelligent innovative marketing ideas that would not use lots of resources, but it would give you lots of reach to the customers. In your Google Classroom, I have shared some of the guerrilla marketing pictures and guerrilla marketing slides that you can actually use. These are basically some of the innovative marketing tools and innovative marketing designs that different entrepreneurs use and different organizations also use. So in the implementation phase, you need to check the cost with the marketing objective that you want to achieve. If the cost is more than the marketing objective, and if you are basically spending more and there are very less sales and very less revenues are coming in, this is one of the measures that your marketing plan is not working. And you need to revisit the 4 and 7 P's that we have discussed. You are either making mistakes in your promotion, maybe your product is not well suited, maybe the pricing is not right, maybe the physical evidence is not good, maybe the people are not well trained. There is some problem in your marketing plan. But you can only do it if you have a clear understanding, and if you have a clear implementation plan, and if you have developed a relationship, a schedule between the cost and the implementation of the marketing plan. So as well as we were already discussing the controlling and implementation phase of the marketing plan, As well as setting out the schedule, the plan needs to say how it will be controlled. One of the best way of controlling a marketing plan is to give this responsibility to a certain individual who has the expertise in controlling a marketing plan or in implementing the marketing objectives and marketing plans. So you need an individual who can take the responsibility for pushing things along. If this particular person is you, you need to develop a schedule. You need to keep things in check, and that is why I was saying that if you have not marketing objectives, the control will become very, very difficult, because then you would have no measure against which you can evaluate the performance. So a good schedule and a budget should make it easy for so a good schedule and a budget should make it easy for for the monitor progress, as I've already told you. If you have developed a very well researched objectives, if you have developed a thoroughly planned schedules, it would help you in controlling mechanisms as well. So when things fall behind the schedule or cost overrun, you need to be ready to do something about it and to adapt your plans accordingly. So every day you need to fight a new battle. Every day you need to do certain firefighting. As I have already told you, that entrepreneurship is a journey that would take you into the realm of unknown. You can't say that the marketing plan that you have made, you can't say that the business plan that you have made is going to play or is going to be implemented exactly in the same way as you have planned. Definitely there would be certain factors, there would be lots of variables that would come into play that you have not even have planned before. How you are going to react to that is going to define your success as an entrepreneur. So that is why it is very, very important to have control mechanisms, so that you should know that where your plan is going off track, where your plan is not going according to the schedule or according to the plan that you have developed. So these are some of my, basing on the 5 different components of the marketing plan that I've given you, these are my tips of writing business plan. Number 1, you need to link your strategy with the plan. As I've already told you, that you need to identify the marketing environment. You need to do the pest analysis. You need to do the SWOT analysis. You need to do the Porter's 5 force model. All of these information, you can also conduct concept statement testing. All of these things combined would give you an idea about what is your environment, where you are standing, what are your key strengths and weaknesses, and on the basis of that, you can actually link your marketing with your environment and with your overall strategy. So as it is written, that all parts of the business, they must work together. If you have limited cash flow, you should avoid seeking large orders from the customers. If you have limited cash flows, you should avoid making overcommitments to the customers. You should avoid using expensive marketing tools. You should avoid using expensive advertisement medias. Remember, you need to focus on your long-term strategy. Many a times I have seen that customers, in order to entrepreneurs, in order to get some short-term gains, they sometimes try to develop relationships with such customers that they cannot maintain. So always try to grow in a very, very slow process, rather than growing in such a rapid pace that even you cannot control. So you should keep long-term processes and long-term strategies in mind, rather than focusing on a very short-term strategies. um, Another very important tip that I want you to to give you is that marketing plan in itself would do nothing. You need to make it happen. You need to start implementing your marketing plans, and this is also valid for your business plans as well. A document, it doesn't matter how well it is written, a document, it doesn't matter how well it is formatted, cannot do anything if you have not implemented, or if you are not operating, and if you are not working on that particular marketing plan or business plan. So you need to make it happen, because entrepreneurship is a particular model that would evolve with the passage of time. Your business plan would actually evolve when you would start implementing your business plan, and same is the case with your marketing plan. So when you would apply the marketing concepts, when you would apply your plan, and when you would apply your strategies, your strategy and plan would automatically start evolving with the passage of time. And this is what we want. We want you to start living the entrepreneurship life rather than closing yourself in a room and develop a marketing plan or a business plan. You should be out there in the market, working upon what your marketing plan is, and implementing your business plans. So at the end, number one, you need to set clear, realistic, measurable targets. For example, increasing sales by 10%. This is a very clear target that you can set. You need to include deadlines for meeting those targets. You need to provide a budget for each marketing activity. And at the end, you need to specify that who is responsible for which particular activity. Now, these are some of the important tips that I wanted to give you for the marketing plan. This is the end of the marketing plan section. You can take a break here and you can come back after 5 minutes. And after this break, I would be discussing with you the fifth section of the business plan, that is organizational structure and management teams. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to this second part of my lecture on entrepreneurship. And in the second part, we are going to discuss the management team and company structure. So what is the company structure and management team, and why do we need to include this section in the marketing plan, in our business plan document? So the management team of a new venture typically consists of a founder or founders or a handful of team members that are working on a particular project. Now, this section can include company's team, board of advisors, company structure. Many of the organizations also have a board of directors. So all of those people and all of these different people who are working upon a particular business plan can become a part of this section. Why you need this particular information to be there? So now this is very, very critical section of a business plan. Why? Because many investors and others who read the business plan, they first look at who is running the show. They first look at that who are the people who are behind this particular business plan. Who are the people who are managing this particular idea. And if they find out that this particular management team do not have the required skill set, they do not have the required experience, they do not even know that what are the technicalities behind this particular product that they are going to develop or they are going to manage, they would probably going to develop this image that maybe this entrepreneur is an inexperienced person who is not giving respect to all the technicalities that are involved in converting this idea into a running viable business. So this particular section is important because this section is going to give a glimpse to the investors and to your employees that you do not only know the technical aspect of the business, but also the managerial aspect of the business. Every business has a technical side and a managerial side. You go to a hospital, you go to a law firm, you go to a university, there is always going to be a management structure or management policy that is implemented there so that the operations are run smoothly. So you cannot say that you are a very, very intelligent or you are a very, very accomplished software engineer, but you do not know anything about the management of the organization, and still you are going to become a very successful businessman. It is not going to happen. You need to learn some managerial skills as well. And this is what this section is all about. In this section, you need to explain to the investors or anyone who is reading your business plan that you have a very fair idea about what is the management side, or what is the management requirement or managerial requirement of this particular business. So in this section, you are going to cover two very key and two very important parts. Number one, you are going to cover what this organization is, or how your business is structured, and who are the people involved and what are their responsibilities. And the second portion is the management team, or detail about what your team brings to the business. What are the skills of these team members? What expertise or technical expertise or resources that these people are bringing in to the overall organization and to the overall operation of this organization. So first of all, let's talk about what is meant by organizational structure. Again, this is something that you must have already discussed when you were when you were discussing the principle of management courses, when you were reading the organization or OB courses in your previous sections or in your previous semester. So that is why I'm going to give you a brief idea about what organization structure is and how to use it. So the organizations section basically set up the hierarchy of people involved in your business. Just imagine having a team, or just imagine having an organization where there is absolutely no hierarchy. No one knows that whom he reports to, whom he is going to ask for help if he wants a certain help, what are their responsibility, and how they are going to achieve that particular, how they are going to perform that responsibility. Such an organization would be absolute mess. So it is often set up in the chart form. So it is always better to have a structure of the organization that would explain that what are the people involved, what are the responsibilities, and who is reporting to whom. Normally, an organization structure and an organization a chart is developed in form of an hierarchical, in form of a pyramid hierarchy. If you have partnership, this is where you indicate who is the president, who is the CEO, who is going to perform the responsibilities of CFO, who is going to take care of marketing. Now this is what your marketing structure looks like. But what if your organization doesn't include any team members? What if you are working as a lone entrepreneur? What if you have a consultancy firm where there is no where you do not have lots of people, or still you do not have anyone working with you? Maybe you are a young entrepreneur a young entrepreneur or a young architect who have just started your own business, and you do not have anyone in your organization. Even then, it is very, very important to have a clear structure, have a clear hierarchy of your organization. Because currently, basically, you are fulfilling and you are covering all the positions of that particular hierarchy. You are your own CEO, you are your own CFO, you are your own marketing director, but it doesn't mean that these particular positions cannot be given to anyone else, or they cannot be given to a new employee coming into the organization in future. Inshallah, you would be becoming a very successful entrepreneur, and a point would come that where it would be impossible for you to manage all of these different aspects of an organization. So that at that particular time, the organizational chart that you have already developed, the organization structure that you have already developed, is going to help you out in order to assign responsibilities to different people. So that is why it is very, very important, even at the start of the organization, even if you do not have anyone, to develop an organization chart so that it can give you an idea that what are different responsibilities that you are fulfilling, and what are different responsibilities that you would give away if your organization becomes successful, and if the working of the organizations would increase. The second important part of the organization management team and organization company structure section is actually the management team. So this section highlights that what you and other involved in the running of your business brings to the table. This not only includes the owners and managers, but also your board of directors and your support professionals. So you're not only going to include just the team member who is, or just the team who is behind a particular entrepreneurial idea or the business. You're also going to include anyone who is giving you advices. Maybe these advices are coming from owners of other organizations. Maybe you have some professional that is working with you. Maybe there is a lawyer who is giving you legal services. Maybe you have hired a marketing agency who is giving you marketing services. Maybe there are these courier services that are giving you these delivery services. So you need to include all these key players that are going to perform different aspects of the value chain that your organization has to cover. So what if you are going to write about the owner or the management or the member of the organization, these are the information that you need to include in your marketing, in your section number 5. Number 1, you need to include their name, the percentage of their ownership, the extent of involvement, the type of ownership, the position that they have in the organization, the duties and responsibilities, the educational background, the experience or skill that that are relevant to the business, and at the end the compensation, or how they are going to be paid. So these are the 9 different elements that you need to include about each and every member that is going to be working with you. You need to write about these 9 elements for yourself as well, if you are the owner, and for your managers, and for your different team members and your partners. Then you also need to write about your advisory board. Many of the organizations do not have the advisory board. It is always recommended that you should have an advisory board that would include people that have experience of running businesses, because you can actually gain a lot, and you can actually learn a lot from these people who have already worked upon their own entrepreneurial ideas and who are now running a successful show. These people can actually help you a lot in identifying the problems, in proactively dealing with those problems, and then developing solutions regarding those particular problems, because they have the experience of what you are going through and what you are dealing. So one person business could benefit from small groups of other business owners who might be willing to provide you with the feedback, support, accountability that comes from an advisory board. So advisory board is not something that is as you can say, the compulsory part of the section 5, but it is always recommended that you develop an advisory board so that you can gain from the experience and the learning curves of other business owners that are willing to give you help, that are willing to provide you the feedback. And while developing and writing about these advisory boards, you should be writing their names, their expertise, the positions that you want to give to that particular person, and how much they would be involved. Whether by involvement it is mean that whether their responsibility would only be to give the advices, or would be playing a very key, and they would be playing a very operational role in the running of the business as well. Another very important key element that investors basically look for is that how much help you are getting from different support professionals. Please do keep this in mind, that your business plan or your business model is always going to depend on many other external players that are there in the organization, or that are there in the environment. For example, even if you are working alone as a professional IT consultant, even then you need an internet, which maybe you are not providing yourself. Maybe internet ISP, internet service provider, is providing you internet. You also require electricity, which is coming from an external organization. Maybe you need some courier service, which is also an external organization. So there are many external organizations which are helping you in order to maintain your business model, and in order to implement your business plan. So you need to give them the due respect, and you need to give them the right consideration that would show the investors that yes, this person understands, and this person has the support of all of these people and all of those organizations required for the running of that business plan. So it is always important to mention the panel of lawyers, the panel of accountants, and other professionals that are involved in your business. This is the place to list any freelancer or contractors you are using. And while you are developing this particular section, you again need to mention their name, their title, the background information such as education or the certificates, and how professional they are, the services that they are providing to your businesses, the relationship information, and the skills and experience that they're bringing in to your organization. So the point of this particular section is to be very clear to yourself and to those who are working with you or for you, and the people who would be funding you. So that is why these are my 3 key tips of writing the company structure portion. Number 1, you need to mention who is involved and in what capacity. What is their responsibility? If you are able to do it in a very clear way, it is going to help you when you're going to implement the business plan. If anybody do not know that what is their responsibility and what they want to do, it would be very, very difficult for you to control it afterwards. You also need to mention the background and the skills that they would be contributing to the success of the business. What is their experience, what is their education, what they are bringing into the resources, what they are bringing into the organization, what are the resources that they are bringing in. All of these elements are very, very important while developing section number 5 of the business plan. And at the end, you need to mention and highlight the experiences and skills, because you and your team have a very, very close link with the resources that refers to when seeking publicity and marketing opportunities. So if you have a very strong link with a very well renowned marketing agency, if you are using very well renowned legal firm, then you can also use this as a marketing tool. As you must have known that many organizations and many young entrepreneurs, they have a separate section on their websites explaining their key customers, or explaining their partners, or the customers that they have served. Now if a potential customer is looking at that particular section, he would feel more confident, because by mentioning their partners, by mentioning the people who are involved with their businesses, or by mentioning their former customers, you are actually communicating that your organization can handle these customers, and with confidence your organization can also handle the queries of a new potential customers. And this is the reason that why many of the organizations, especially even management organizations, they always mention the sponsors. Because while by mentioning sponsors, these organizations are communicating that these sponsors have trust on us, which means that we have the required skill sets, we have the required managerial expertise. That is why such big organizations are trusting us. So they basically use these sponsors and these partners as way of market their goodwill, and market their organization as well. So I'm going to wrap this section up. I'm going to wrap this lecture up. These are some of the key takeaways that we have discussed in this particular section. So in this section, we have discussed in detail what to include in your market plan. We have also discussed that what are some of the key issues in implementing and controlling phase of your marketing plan. We have also discussed in detail that why it is important for developing the market structure, and why it is important to include the section explaining the market structure and the market teams. And at the end, we have learned what to include while writing about the management team profiles. Now, these are my 4 key takeaways from this particular lecture. So at the end, I would again going to remind you that in the next interactive session, I have uploaded an assignment that every group has to present their industry analysis for the business plan that you guys are working upon. This particular assignment is going to be very, very important, because we are nearly at the end of our business plan writing and business plan document writing. And it is very, very important for you to keep on writing different sections of this business plan, because we would be starting our final course presentations very, very shortly. And the final course presentations would all be on the business plan document. So if you have not started your working on the business plan, this is the right time to start working on your business plan documents, and to keep in mind all the sections that we have discussed. So up till now, we have discussed 6 different sections of the business plan. Number 1, we have discussed the executive summary. We have discussed company's description. We have also discussed the industry analysis part, the market analysis part, the marketing plan portion, and at the end, the very important, the management structure and management team portion. So up till now, I am expecting that you have started your work on all of these sections. In the next class, inshallah, I would be testing and I would be evaluating your industry analysis. And while developing your industry analysis, you need to keep in mind all the key guidelines and all the key steps that I have mentioned while I was giving you lecture on how to develop your industry analysis part. Thank you very much. I'm going to end this lecture now. Please take very good care of yourself. Please take very good care of your elders and your younger ones, and have a very, very nice day. And I hope that I hope to see every one of you in the next interactive session. Allah Hafiz.